Intermediate Algebra for Statistics. Using factoring to solve polynomial equations, Part 3. Lesson objective. Use factoring to solve cubic equations. Lesson objective. We'll begin with an example. Example 9. Solve x cubed plus 10x equals 9x squared minus 8x. Solution. Our first step is we want to pull all the terms to one side of the equal sign and the other side of the equal sign be equal to 0. So we're going to subtract 9x squared to both sides and add 8x to both sides. Combining like terms, we get x cubed minus 9x squared plus 18x equals 0. Each term in this trinomial has an x, so we factor out this greatest common factor, and we're left with x times the trinomial x squared minus 9x plus 18. This equals 0. Next, we want to see if we can factor this trinomial. C is a positive 18. B is a negative 9. So since C is positive, the factors will have the same sign, and since B is negative, both the factors will be a negative number. So we need to think of what two factors multiply to give a positive 18 and add up to give a negative 9, and that would be a negative 6 and a negative 3. So now we have x times the binomial x minus 6 times the binomial x minus 3. This equals 0. The zero factor property says that either this value is 0 or this one or this one. So we set all three factors equal to 0 and we solve for x. The first one's done, x equals 0. Here we add 6 to both sides and we get x equals to 6. And this one we add 3 to both sides and we have x is equal to 3. So our solutions are x equals 0, x equals 6, and x equals 3. To check the solutions, we'll begin with 0. We substitute it in to the original equation. The left hand side should equal the right hand side. 0 cubed is 0, plus 10 times 0 is 0. 0 squared is 0, times 9 is 0, and 8 times 0 is 0. So the left hand side equals the right hand side. 0 equals 0. It checks. For x equals 3, we do the same thing. We cube first and square. That gives us 27 plus 30 equals 9 times 3 squared, which is 9, minus 24. This quantity becomes 57, and if I take 9 times 9, 81, and minus 24, I get 57. So the left hand side equals the right hand side. It checks. For our last solution, when x is 6, we have 6 cubed, which is 218, plus 60. Does that equal 6 squared, which is 36, times 9, minus 48. 9 times 36 is 324, minus 48. Does that equal 276? And it does. So the left hand side equals the right hand side. It checks. So we have verified all three solutions. Using a graphing calculator, if we type in the left hand side of the equation in y1 and the right hand side in y2, we can see when x is 0, y1 and y2 are the same. When x is 3, y1 and y2 are the same, 57. And when x is 6, y1 and y2 are the same. So it checks. Another way we can use the graphing calculator is if we type in the trinomial that was equal to 0 and y1 and use the table feature. We want to see where is y1 equal to 0. This happens when x is 0, when x is 3, and when x is 6. So this is another way to verify using the graphing calculator. Example 10. Solve 2x cubed equals 48x plus 8x squared. Solution. The first step is we want to move all the terms to one side of the equal sign. Our next step is we want to look at all the factors and see if there's any common factors. So for these three terms, we see that each term has at least one x as a factor, and each term is an even number. So that means 2 will divide into each number. 2 is a factor. So if we factor out 2x, we are left with 2x times the trinomial x squared minus 4x minus 21. What two numbers multiply to give me a negative 21 and add up to give me a negative 4? That would be negative 7 and 3. Just like in our previous example, here in this case we have 2x as a factor, x minus 7 as a factor, and x plus 3 as a factor. So one of these factors equals 0 because the product is 0. So setting all three of these equal to 0, we have x equals 0, or x equals 7, or x equals negative 3. To check the solutions using the graphing calculator, we type in the trinomial that was equal to 0 in y1. We hit second graph for table. We see when x is equal to a negative 3, y is 0. When x equals 0, y is 0. And when x equals 7, y is 0. So it checks. Again, in this case we had three different x values that produced a y value of 0. So if we think about some typical cubic functions, in this case we have three x-intercepts. So this function will have three x-intercepts: negative 3, 0, and 7. Now there's some certain cubic that only have two x-intercepts, and it's possible for some cubics to only have one x-intercept. Cubic equations and one variables. The process. If an equation can be solved by factoring, we solve it by the following steps. Number 1, we write the equation so that one side of the equal sign is equal to 0. Number 2, we factor the non-zero side of the equation. Number 3, we apply the zero factor property. And number 4, we solve each equation that results from applying the zero factor property. Our last example, solving polynomial equations in one variable by graphing. Use graphing to solve x squared minus x minus 7 equal to a negative x squared. So since this example says solve by graphing, we're going to use the graphing calculator. We're going to use the intersect feature. So we will let the left hand side be equal to y1 and the right hand side be equal to y2. So we will type in x squared minus x plus 7 in y1 and negative x squared in y2. Next we want to hit graph, and visually we can see here's one parabola, here's the second parabola, and we have an intersection point here and we have an intersection point here. Using the intersection feature, we see that the calculator is telling us x is about a negative 1.64, and for the other point of intersection approximately 2.14. So the approximate solutions would be when x is negative 1.64, y will be a negative 2.68, and when x is a positive 2.14, y is approximately a negative 4.57. So we have 2 points, an x and a y, that satisfies both equations at the same time. Thanks for watching.